Hi everyone! Today I'm going to go over clairaudience. Clairaudience means clear hearing. It refers to the ability to hear spirits, although it's not restricted to spirits. It also refers to fae, to angels, to any other dimensional, not this dimension, but any other dimensional being. To develop these clairaudience abilities, it's important to hone your mundane hearing. So to do this, you would take a moment and sit quietly, whether with your eyes open or closed. Closed is sometimes easier, as it helps you not focus on what you're seeing and only focus on what you're hearing. And you'd listen to things you normally tune out. So the birds chirping, humming of water through the pipes, the hum of electricity in the lights, cars driving past your house, anything like that. You can do this with the TV on or off. So you can, if the TV's on and you normally would listen to the TV, listen to other things besides the TV so you have some distraction. Though I suggest starting out with complete silence and listening to those sounds you normally tune out. The other method that I really like and I use a lot is sensory deprivation. This is a type of meditation where you lie on your back or your stomach or your side or wherever you're comfortable. The back I find is easiest, and you start by shutting down your mundane senses. So first you close your eyes and stop concentrating on what you see behind your eyelids. The second one is you start shutting out sounds. So sometimes focusing on your breathing is a good way to shut out sounds. And then you shut out different smells. So this is always good to do so don't have any candles burning, don't have anything like that. If you have some sort of odor eliminating stuff, that's always good to spray down on where you're going to lay first, as long as it's not scented. So just pure baking soda and water is a good one for that. And then you stop smelling things, and then you stop focusing on what your skin feels. So if you're doing this properly, you're going to end up with the sensation that you're floating in nothingness. And this is what we call the void. This is the point between all worlds. Typically, nothing lives in the void, so you'll be safe. But always cast a circle of protection. Just envision that you're in a bubble that protects you. Prior to doing any meditative exercises. If that's what you believe. Some people don't use a circle of protection because they believe that their faith doesn't allow that, and that's fine. Just do you. So when you're in this point, when you're at the void, I suggest start by imagining sounds. Not focusing on what you're hearing, but imagine music. And focus on what you're imagining until you can hear it. And this helps develop your clairaudience. There are two different types of clairaudience. The first type of clairaudience is internal, so you hear it in your head. And the second type, which is more uncommon, you don't really see this as much with mediums and stuff, is externally. This is where you'll be walking down the street or doing something and you hear someone call your name, but you look around and there's no one there. Those kind of things. If you have one of these, you're bound to have both. But it's, like I said, the second one is a lot more uncommon. First, typically, people, instead of developing clairaudience, will develop claircognizance, which is clear knowing. So you may not hear anything in your head or externally at all. You may just know the answer. Like you ask a question, and then you sit there for a while, and you don't hear anything, but you're like, "Oh, I know who's trying to contact me. Oh, I know what they're saying. No, get out of here. I didn't call you. Go to bed." I guess. It's my Amelia's coming over because I clapped. I think she's helping. It's okay. Yes, you're good. Go to bed. Go to bed. Go lay down. All right. Stay. So you'll just know the answer, and that's claircognizance. So don't get discouraged if you don't hear anything, whether it's in your head or mundane. Don't worry about it. Sometimes it takes years to develop this. Some people get it in a couple days, and some people get it in a couple weeks, and some people it takes, a long time, up to 10 years for some people, or even more, to develop these abilities. But every person is capable of it. So just keep at it. The most common question I get from clairaudio people is, am I imagining it? I actually had someone ask me that today. They said, I can't determine whether it's really happening or whether I'm just thinking it. Quite honestly, the answer to that is a little bit of both. Think of it like based on a true story, a movie based on a true story. The core concept or the core message is true. The little bits and details are probably not all 100% accurate. So, those are things like the language that you hear it in, you're probably going to hear it in your native language. However, if you're speaking to someone deceased from another realm or another country, if they were living, they're probably going to speak in their native tongues, but you're going to interpret it and you're going to hear it in your language, most likely. So that part's going to be not true for what you're hearing, or you may hear it in slang or common tongue to you. Your brain's going to interpret it a little differently than how they're saying it, is the point. But the core concept, the core idea is true. That's there. So if you think you're imagining it, just sit back and let yourself imagine. You may find that something really real comes out of it. I'm gonna do a video at some point about clairvoyance, which is clear vision. I actually have some personal stories with that. So that'll be a little more interesting than this. Some famous people that were clairaudient was Joan of Arc, led France into victory. She heard angels. Well, she was clairaudient. She was actually hearing angels from her god, or whoever she worshipped, God in this case. I'll do another video on introductions to angels and other realms and stuff too. I'll do a series on that. So Joan of Arc was one. The other one was the Yorkshire Ripper case. There was a psychic, a clairvoyant psychic, or a clairaudient psychic. There were clairvoyant psychics too, but they used a bunch of psychics to pinpoint who the Ripper was. Several of the clairvoyant sketches that came back were nowhere near accurate. So, that's that brain interpreting it incorrectly. But there was a clairaudient who spoke to one of the victims after they had passed away. And she got that the man's name was Peter. And I don't remember his last name. But it's a really interesting case. And the actual perpetrator's name was Peter. So that's the case where clairaudience was awesome. I don't have the name of that psychic. I wish I did. But that was a really famous case in which psychics and clairvoyance and clairaudience was used. So there's a lot of true stories of it, and it is 100% possible for everyone. It just depends on how long you work with it and how committed you are. It's like anything, you know, some babies walk early, some babies walk late. Um, but just keep with it, and I hope this works out for you. All right, let me know if you have any questions. I actually have a Facebook page under the same name, Rebecca's Witch Hat. So you guys can message me on there, and I'm almost always available on there. If I don't get back to you immediately, I'll get back to you within 24 hours. All right, have a good day. I'll post the next video, so keep an eye out.